Episode 5 of the Club World Cup Wrap, where we dive into the first matches of Matchday 2, focusing on Groups A and B, from late drama to major upsets, and even some tournament history made along the way. Let's break it all down. Palmeiras and Ahly met under hot afternoon skies at MetLife Stadium, with both sides looking for a first win of the tournament. Tactically, Palmeiras manager Abel Ferreira deployed a three-man defense with adventurous wingbacks providing width, while Ahly set up in a compact four-man backline and a crowded midfield. This led to a cagey opening half hour, marked by physical battles in midfield and a handful of early yellow cards as both teams fought for control. Despite a few half chances, including a low drive from Rafael Veiga that skidded wide and a header by Ahly's Wessam Abu Ali saved comfortably, neither side could break through in the first half. Palmeiras enjoyed more possession, with their wing play stretching Ahly's defense, but the Egyptian side's goalkeeper, Mohamed El Shenawi, and backline stood firm to keep it 0-0 at the break. Early in the second half, Palmeiras' pressure finally paid off. In the 49th minute, Gustavo Gomes surged forward and fed a pass out wide to the right, where 19-year-old winger Estevão whipped a dangerous cross into the box. Under pressure from Palmeiras attackers, Ahly striker Wessam Abu Ali inadvertently deflected the ball in his own net while trying to clear, resulting in an own goal that put Palmeiras up 1-0. Buoyed by the breakthrough, Palmeiras doubled their lead 10 minutes later. Substitute Jose Manuel Lopez, brought on at halftime to inject more firepower, made it 2-0 in the 59th minute with a clinical one-time finish from close range. Lopez lashed onto a low cutback from the left by fellow substitute Mauricio, who had beaten his marker and squared the ball across the 6-yard box. As Palmeiras celebrated, the match was suddenly halted at 1:29 p.m. local time due to looming thunderclouds overhead. A burst of severe weather caused a 63rd minute delay, forcing both teams off the pitch for nearly 3/4 of an hour. Players returned at 2:15 p.m. once conditions improved, and the game resumed with Palmeiras guarding their 2-goal advantage. After the restart, Ahly pushed desperately to find a way back. Coach Jose Rivero made 4 substitutions around the hour mark to bring fresh legs, including Moroccan winger Achraf Bencharki and playmaker Mohamed Afshah Maghi, hoping to spark a comeback. Ahly did carve out a few openings late on. A curling attempt by substitute Hussein El Shahat in the 75th minute forced a fingertip save from Palmeiras keeper Weaverton, and a last-gasp free kick by Bencharki in stoppage time sailed just over the bar. But Palmeiras' defense, marshaled by captain Gustavo Gomes, absorbed the pressure well. The Brazilian side's organization and earlier 2-goal cushion held strong through a frantic finish. The match concluded 2-0 in Palmeiras' favor. Estevão earned man of the match honors for his tireless performance and the wicked cross that led to the opening goal. In front of 51,000 fans at Lumen Field, Seattle Sounders FC, one of the tournament's host teams, squared off against Spanish giants Atlético Madrid in a late afternoon kickoff. Seattle's Brian Schmetzer made several changes to his MLS-based side, adopting a 4-2-3-1 formation with veteran Christian Roldan and wonder kid Obed Vargas shielding the defense, and playmaker Albert Rusnik in the number 10 role. In contrast, Diego Simeone's Atletico ran out a strong lineup in a flexible 4-4-2 featuring club captain Koke in midfield and 2 high-profile forwards, Julian Alvarez and Alexander Sorloth, up top. From the first whistle, Atletico's quality and European experience showed. They pressed Seattle aggressively and struck early in the 11th minute. Atletico midfielder Pablo Barrios opened the scoring with a clever finish to make it 1-0. The move began with Alvarez drawing defenders and laying the ball off to Barrios at the edge of the box. The 22-year-old Barrios took a touch and curled a low shot through traffic, beating Seattle's goalkeeper Stefan Frey into the bottom corner. This early goal set the tone, forcing Seattle onto the back foot. The Sounders struggled in the first half to create clear chances, relying on sporadic counterattacks led by wingers Paul Rothrock and Pedro de la Vega. Seattle's best look of the half came from a set piece, a flicked header by center back Jackson Reagan off a long throw-in that sailed just over the bar. Atletico, meanwhile, nearly doubled their lead before halftime when Alvarez broke free on the right and squared to Sorloth, whose close-range attempt was blocked heroically by defender John Bell. The first half ended 1-0 with Atletico largely in control, their organized defense limiting Seattle to half chances. The second half brought a flurry of action and goals. Seattle introduced attackers Jesus Ferreira and Ryan Kent at the break to inject pace, but it was Atletico who struck again, almost immediately after the restart. In the 47th minute, Atletico made it 2-0 through an unlikely source. Substitute Axel Witsel, who had just come on at halftime, scored with a powerful header. Witsel rose highest to meet a corner from Rodrigo de Paul, nodding the ball off the underside of the crossbar and in. Down 2 goals, Seattle showed resilience, and the home crowd roared them back into the match. Just 3 minutes later, in the 50th minute, Seattle pulled a goal back. A quick interplay down the left saw Ryan Kent whip a cross into the area, and Albert Rusnak ghosted between Atletico's center backs to volley it into the net from 10 yards, cutting the deficit to 2-1. Lumen Field erupted as the Sounders found new life. However, Atletico responded like true heavyweights. Barely 5 minutes after conceding, they restored the 2-goal cushion. In the 55th minute, Pablo Barrios struck again, making it 3-1 with his second goal of the night. The young Spaniard arrived late in the box to meet a low cutback from Marcos Llorente, who had pushed up from right back. Barrios swept the ball first time into the bottom left corner beyond Frey's reach, silencing the brief surge of Seattle momentum. The 3-1 lead allowed Atletico to return to their trademark solidity. Diego Simeone's men sat deeper, absorbed Seattle's attempts, and looked to strike on the counter. Seattle, to their credit, kept fighting and nearly found another goal in the 68th minute when Jordan Morris, brought on as an impact sub, flashed a header just wide of the far post. As the match entered the final 20 minutes, Simeone introduced fresh legs, including Antoine Griezmann and Angel Correa, to manage the game and keep Seattle's defense honest. Griezmann's movement created a late chance in the 80th minute. He slipped a pass to Correa, whose shot forced Frey into a diving save. Seattle's attacks grew more direct in the dying minutes, but Atletico's back line, anchored by Jose Maria Jimenez and reinforced by Nahuel Molina off the bench, held firm. A few late yellow cards were shown as frustration grew for the home side, but there was no way back. The match ended 3-1 in favor of Atlético Madrid, a deserved win born of clinical finishing and composure. Pablo Barrios was the standout performer. His 2 goals and all-action midfield display earned him man of the match honors. Seattle's Albert Rusnak also impressed with his goal and creativity, but the Sounders ultimately couldn't overcome the quality and depth of the Spanish side. The result left Seattle still searching for their first points, while Atletico bounced back strongly from their opening loss in the so-called Group of Death.
A raucous crowd in Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium witnessed Inter Miami, the tournament hosts, face Portugal's FC Porto in an East versus West clash of styles. Inter Miami's coach Javier Mascherano fielded a star-studded lineup in a 4-4-2 shape, anchored by Sergio Busquets in midfield and led up front by the veteran duo of Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. Porto, managed by Martin and Selmy, lined up in a fluid 4-3-3, looking to stay compact at the back while springing quick counters through their young forwards. The match burst to life almost immediately. In just the 8th minute, Porto caught the Miami defense off guard and earned a penalty. A quick give-and-go released Porto's lively striker Samu Agahawa behind the back line, where he was tripped by an on-rushing Inter defender before he could shoot. After a VAR check confirmed the foul, Agahawa himself stepped up and slotted the penalty home in the 8th minute to give Porto a 1-0 lead. The early goals stunned the home supporters and forced Inter Miami onto the front foot. For the rest of the first half, Inter probed for an equalizer. Messi floated between the lines to orchestrate attacks, and Suarez saw a headed chance save, but Porto's defense, marshaled by veteran captain Ivan Marcano, held firm. Inter's best opportunity came right before halftime when winger Tadeo Allende cut inside and fired a low shot that forced Porto's keeper Claudio Ramos into a sharp save at full stretch. Despite Inter Miami dominating possession after conceding, Porto went to the break still leading 1-0, their disciplined first-half display highlighted by hard tackles in compact shape. Inter Miami emerged after halftime with renewed determination, and it paid immediate dividends. Just 2 minutes into the second half, in the 47th minute, Inter drew level. Venezuelan midfielder Telasco Segovia struck a beautiful equalizer to make it 1-1. The play started with Benjamin Kramaski winning the ball high up the pitch and slipping a pass to Segovia at the edge of the box. Segovia took one touch and curled a left-footed shot through a crowd of defenders and into the bottom corner. The Atlanta crowd erupted as the host finally breached Porto's resistance. Sensing momentum, Inter kept pressing forward, and Lionel Messi produced a moment of magic just a few minutes later. In the 54th minute, Messi put Inter Miami ahead 2-1, capping the comeback. Left winger Noah Allen overlapped and delivered a cross that Luis Suarez smartly dummied at the near post, allowing the ball to run through to Messi. The Argentine superstar controlled it with one touch and rifled a low finish past the Porto goalkeeper from 12 yards out. Messi's goal sent the stadium into delirium and visibly rattled Porto. Now chasing the game, Porto responded with a flurry of substitutions and attacks. Midfielder Stefan Eustachio and winger Goncalo Borges came on around the hour mark as Porto switched to a more attacking 4-2-4.
For a spell, Inter Miami had to weather heavy pressure. Porto's Alan Varela fired a long-range shot narrowly over the bar in the 70th minute, and moments later, a dangerous low cross from João Mario skidded through the Inter 6-yard box with no one able to apply a finishing touch. Inter Miami's defense bent, but did not break, with center-back Maximiliano Falcone making several timely clearances. As the minutes ticked away, Messi and Busquets helped slow the tempo, retaining possession to frustrate Porto. In the 82nd minute, Porto nearly equalized when substitute William Gomez latched onto a loose ball in the box, but Inter keeper Oscar Ustari produced a brilliant point-blank save to preserve the lead. Despite 6 minutes of stoppage time and a few nervy moments for the hosts, Inter closed out the match. It ended 2-1 to Inter Miami, their hard-fought comeback victory. The night belonged to Lionel Messi, who not only scored the go-ahead goal, but was a constant creative threat and was rightfully named man of the match. Porto was left disappointed after a promising start, while Inter Miami's second-half surge earned them a precious 3 points in Group A.
Today's final Matchday 2 encounter took place at the historic Rose Bowl in Pasadena, where French champions Paris Saint-Germain faced Brazil's Botafogo under the evening lights. PSG, fresh off a 4-0 win in their opener, named a rotated but still formidable lineup in a 4-3-3 formation. Luis Enrique started Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal, with Achraf Hakimi captaining the side from right back and an attacking trident of Desiree Doué, Goncalo Ramos, and Kavica Kvaratskhelia up front. In contrast, Botafogo's coach Renato Paiva set his team out in a pragmatic 4-3-3 focused on defensive shape and quick breaks. Botafogo's back line was shielded by hard-tackling midfielder Gregor. From the kickoff, PSG assumed control of possession as expected, pinging the ball around midfield through Vitinha and Warren Zaïre-Emery. However, the Brazilian side's defense stayed disciplined and clear chances were hard to come by. The first real opportunity fell to PSG in the 22nd minute when Kavica Kvaratskhelia cut inside from the left and curled a shot toward the far corner, only to be denied by a fingertip save from Botafogo goalkeeper John. As PSG pushed forward, Botafogo began to find gaps to counter. In the 36th minute, against the run of play, Botafogo stunned the crowd by taking the lead. A quick break down the right saw winger Artur slide a perfectly weighted through ball behind PSG's high defensive line. Igor Jesus, the lone striker, timed his run brilliantly, sprinted onto the pass, and slotted a low finish under Donnarumma for a 1-0 Botafogo lead. The underdogs erupted in celebration as the Rose Bowl crowd, a mix of locals and traveling Brazilian fans, roared in disbelief. PSG nearly hit back before halftime when Goncalo Ramos latched onto a loose ball in the box at 44 minutes and fired on target, but John reacted quickly to block the close-range attempt. Botafogo went into the interval up 1-0 with PSG frustrated and facing a shock deficit. PSG made a triple substitution at the break, bringing on left-back Nuno Mendes, midfielder Fabian Ruiz, and winger Bradley Barcola to spark a comeback. The French side ramped up the intensity in the second half, pinning Botafogo deep in their own territory for long stretches. Kvaratskhelia dazzled the crowd with a mazy dribble in the 55th minute, weaving past two defenders and forcing another save from John at the near post. Despite PSG's dominance in possession, nearly 70%, Botafogo's defense, anchored by veteran center-back Alexander, held firm for a famous 1-0 win as the team ascended to the top of the group.
Group A remains wide open after 2 match days. Palmeiras and Inter Miami are level on 4 points apiece, with the Brazilians just ahead on goal difference. Porto and Ahly both have a single point, meaning all 4 teams are still in contention going into the final round. In Group B, Botafogo have already qualified with 2 wins from 2. PSG and Atlético Madrid are both chasing second place with 3 points each, while Seattle Sounders sit bottom without a point. Join us for Episode 6 of the Club World Cup Wrap, where Matchday 2 action continues, this time in Groups C and D. We'll be breaking down 4 key fixtures as the stakes begin to rise. In Group C, European powerhouse Bayern Munich go head-to-head with Argentine legends Boca Juniors, while Benfica take on Auckland City in a clash of continental styles. Then it's on to Group D, where Flamengo meet Chelsea in a high-profile showdown and LAFC host Esperance de Tunis in a match brimming with energy and contrast. Make sure you're subscribed to VAR and Vibes and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of the Club World Cup Wrap. Until next time, keep that football passion burning bright.